Who better than me? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the casual stream with your boy, Base the Kid. As always, please like and subscribe, share with a friend, a colleague, a relative, an associate, an enemy, any and all in between. It is appreciated. Apologies, this didn't happen on Tuesday. It was one of those days. Yesterday I was out. Today it almost wasn't going to happen again because I am not feeling great. Yet again, the office, the workplace is mashing me up, man. They need to clean the filters, and I think I got a dust allergy. So if I sneeze, apologies. Yeah, so it might be a bit of a rough one, but we'll get through it as best we can. But yeah, as always, please like and subscribe and all that good stuff. We won't stay on for too long. Couple things, I guess, to really address. Yeah. Apologies. Yeah, so we got the obviously the news that we'd all been waiting for earlier on this week. Turki Al-Sheikh has stated that we will get Canelo and Crawford September 13th in Las Vegas, with the press conferences to start from Sunday next week in Riyadh. Is it? No, sorry, it's the Friday, the 20th. Then they have one on the 22nd in New York, I believe, and then I think there's one either the 24th or the 25th in Las Vegas. So yeah, look, we've got the confirmation there. Turki put out the bat signal basically for people that he would like to see on the undercard, people who feel like they're young, hungry fighters that he feels will make, sort of make a good addition to it. So we highlighted names like Abdullah Mason, Christian Mbili, a couple others. So I put a little tweet out with regards to some fights that I would like to see. Janibek Anim Khanala against Carlos Adames, free belt unification, maybe as the chief support co-main. Christian Mbili against Steven Soko Nelson, obviously part of the Terence Crawford team, so it makes sense for him to have one of his fighters on the card. Who else did I put in there? Rafael Espinoza versus Angelo Leo. Shout out to Ring IQ because he did sort of pick that one a little while ago, and I like the sound of it. Unification is what we need. But I had one that was a little bit left field. I had Erislandy Lara against Denzel Bentley, middleweight division. When Denzel Bentley first fought Janibek, I didn't feel like he had warranted a title shot at that point, and I thought he was gonna be pretty much lamb to the slaughter, which I told him on Monday Night Smoke. But now, even after the defeat, I guess it was a defeat that we'll call it. He's come back, several good wins. Now, I believe the European champion. I feel like this time he's earned his shot. Janibek, I mean, yeah, you maybe could get that one, but Erislandy Lara ain't really doing much. I'm pretty sure it won't cost too much to get him in the ring. He's in his 40s now, so if you're ever gonna get a world champion, I feel that's the perfect time. So I'd like to see that fight. What other fights did I put on there? Abdullah Mason against Sam Noakes. I think that obviously that fight's already been ordered. It makes perfect sense to have that fight on that undercard. Both guys have got more than enough time to get ready for it. But I had another fight which was a little bit out of left field. So I made sure to put quite a few, Mexican American fighters on there because it's a Canelo card. It's Mexican Independence Day weekend. It makes sense. So I went with Richard Torres. Because you need a heavyweight bout on these cards. Now there was a bunch of others. I was thinking maybe Ajit Caballero against Fa Jagbar. I was thinking something like that. Then I thought, well, no, let's get an American heavyweight. And the only one of note at the moment is Richard Torres. So I said, okay, Richard Torres, who against? And I was trying to think of names. I said, okay, who's in and around his level? He's kind of just touching that fringe world level at this point in time. Okay, so who do you put him up against? I thought, well, an Olympian. Why not put him in there against another Olympian? So I went for Richard Torres against Frazer Clarke. Obviously, Frazer's come back from his knockout defeat to Fabio Wardley with the fight of Ebenezer Tete. But I feel that makes really good sense. You've got Richard Torres about 225, 230 at the moment, 6'1". Frazer Clarke is about 6'5", 6'6", closest to like 280. But Richard's obviously got the speed advantage there. Frazier's been in the amateur game a lot longer, and it might be, you have it as a, the battle of the Olympians. There was a couple other fights I had in mind as well, but those are the ones I put forward. Let me know in the chat what you kind of think of any of those fights, any that you like, you dislike, you think are a waste of time, and we can discuss it. Plus some of the other things that Turkey said, which may be worthy of discussion, which we will definitely address in a little bit. I'm gonna say what's up to the chat very, very shortly. So yeah, if you haven't hit that like button already, please do so. It is appreciated. Okay, man, like Star Fox WR45E in the building, number one out there. Shout out, man, like North Bank Bren in the building as well. Salute to you, Philip Answer. Salute, young sir. Untraceable in the building. Shout out, man, like Jay Lanks as well. Who you got, Hitchens or Cambosis? You'll have to wait for the video tomorrow's Untraceable. You know how it goes. Jay Lanks hay fever. No, do you know what? I don't actually have hay fever. It's mad. I do sometimes get very slight hay fever like symptoms, but it's never to do with pollen or anything like that. But I do think I've got dust allergies, especially because this only starts when I go into the office. Like when I'm in my house or out on road, this doesn't happen. It's when I'm in the office and they turn on the AC, then they turn it off, then they turn it on again, then they turn it off. It does a number on me for like one day, and then I come home and like I basically dose up, and then the following day I'm alright. But it happens like whenever there's a little bit of change in the weather, and then the AC and all that. Yeah, so I know it might seem hay feverish, but yeah, I don't have it. Bless you. Thank you very much, North Bank. Yes. Like I said, I don't know how much I'm gonna get through today, but we had to do something because I haven't put out any proper videos in a while, even though we had like 4 or 5 different bits of content last weekend, which was quite enjoyable. LR shagging PP. Yes, base. Will you sign my microwave? I mean, my signature's not really worth anything unless it's on a bank loan document, and maybe later. Shout out Stephen Grubb, big ups to you. Turkey banned Haney from fighting, no more Usain Bolt settings. I mean, I saw something the other day saying that his comments about the Tom and Jerry fights was primarily directed towards Devin Haney. I mean, look, it may have been. I can't say that it wasn't. But the thing is, if it was, and I've actually got to get him on the phone, I'll get him on the phone soon. Bill Haney, I'm gonna have to see what he's got to say about it, because he's he said that he loved the performance from Devin, which is fine, but ultimately if he loved it but Turkey didn't, and Turkey's the one who's gonna pay him, we maybe got to figure out how that one works. you know. Um, but boy, it kind of. I guess we just gotta wait and see. Shout out man like James in the building as well. But yeah, who do you think, for anyone who's watching at the moment, give me some names for people that should be on that undercard for Canelo Crawford? Because we've also got other undercards to talk about shortly. Where's my comment? So here they are. Okay, cool. James says Cordina back to boxing. Good to see him back. Yeah, he's back with Matchroom. Frank Smith unveiled the news the other day. It should be good to see what he says. Philip says me. Okay, now I've got to try and remember what I said. Because I'm sure it's not about you being on the undercard, Philip. James, I have a feeling the undercard for Crawford Canelo will be rubbish. Oh boy, okay. And Starfox says, I've got nobody. Okay, so no one's got any names. Alright, cool. Well, in that case, we'll leave that one for the time being. And let's talk about the start of the Daniel Dubois and Alexander Usyk undercard being announced. And we've got Lawrence Okolie versus Kevin Lerena. Now, is this Lawrence Okolie trying to get prepped for a potential Alexander Usyk fight, facing a southpaw? Is that what we're doing? One other thing I like to clear up, because it obviously needs clearing up, because everyone keeps saying, "Oh, Kevin Lerena was a former cruiserweight champion." Not exactly true. He held the IBO. We all know that the IBO title is not legitimate unless it's accompanied by one of the other sanctioning body belts. By itself, it's no better than a British or Commonwealth title. So no, he wasn't a world champion at cruiserweight. He was just an IBO belt holder. And I like people to make that clear. However, Kevin Lerena, he's a good fighter, but I don't think he's a good opponent for Lawrence Okolie. I don't understand look, yes, okay, he wobbled Daniel Dubois, he wobbled Justice Huni, but stylistically, he's actually an awful pick for Lawrence Okolie, because Okolie can literally just keep him at the end of a jab if he really wants to. Lerena isn't fast enough to be able to cut the distance, and his guard, he doesn't have a tight enough guard to be able to block that right hand that will probably come in from Lawrence Okolie. North Bank Brent says Lerena is an awful choice of opponent. And James says, great fight for Okolie. Kevin Lerena is not a bad fighter, especially if he does a full camp. He's not a bad fighter, but he's a bad fighter for Lawrence Okolie. Or should I say Lawrence Okolie is a very, very bad fight for him. Stylistically, it's not great at all. And North Bank Brent says, a leather belt is worth more than an IBO and more in demand too. Very true. So yeah, but everyone obviously calling the former cruiserweight champion, like, can we please stop that and stop the false narratives? What was the other fight that was on? Was it Daniel Lapin against Louis Edmondson? Yeah, that fight there is going to be awful. Louis Edmondson, he's effective, but he's an awful fighter. In the sense of watching him fight. Like obviously he's got some skills and some talent to be able to do what he does, but he's an awful fighter to watch. And Daniel Lapin ain't much better, and there's not very many knockouts between the two of them. So that's definitely one of those fights where they're trying to put people to sleep before the main event. And I can't lie, because it's a stadium show, and I think they have to be out of Wembley by like 12:30. I think is when everything has to be cleared out. I wouldn't be putting any fights on the card that you almost can guarantee are going to go the 12-round distance. So that fight wouldn't be on there. I would just be packing it with heavyweights and cruiserweights and light heavyweights and maybe super middles. I put Denzel Bentley on there as well if he can't get a fight on the on the Riyadh season, card, Canelo and Crawford. That's what I would say. Daniel Lapin is like 6'7". No, Lapin's not that tall. He's six. I think he's 6'5" or 6'6". IBO equals a Timu strap. Yep. His damn base said man's an awful fighter. Yeah, awful to watch. Like I won't say that he's an awful fighter in general, because again he's effective. But I've seen him live, and I've seen him on TV, and both times I wanted to turn it off. And I was live, so I couldn't. I just had to sit there and watch. But yeah, Lapin also is, good technical boxer, good fundamentals, but it's going to be one of those keep away fights from both guys. I don't think we don't need that. We don't deserve that, especially paying £25. The only reason that fight has been put on so everyone knows when they can go to the bathroom, go to the bar to get a drink, or go and get some food if they're hungry. That's the only reason to have that fight on in the card. I am interested to see what the rest of the fights will be. I'm assuming there will be one more, maybe two more main broadcast fights. One will probably be an 8-rounder, and the other one will likely be a 10. They won't want 5 12-round fights on the card. Not on the main portion anyway. So, yeah, I guess we have to wait and see on that. And so wanting to turn off a live show is crazy. Yeah, I did, man. I wish I had I was trying to use the remote on my telephone to see if I could switch the channel, and I just realized, oh yeah, it's right. Do you know what I did? I'm gonna be honest, right? This is exactly what I did. So I was recording on my phone. As I'm recording on my phone, I stopped recording and shut my phone so it went blank, and then just kept it up on the screen. Kept it up like this. So just watching blank screen until the final bell came, when they announced the winner, when he unfortunately beat Dan Aziz, although I don't think he beat Dan Aziz. Yeah, it was poor. It was poor. But yes, look, like I said, he's effective, so I will give him credit for being effective. But that card needs nothing but heavyweight fights on it. Anything other than that is no point, in my opinion. I'm trying to think what. So we've got Richardson Hitchens and George Kambosos this weekend. But 2 of the fights I was actually looking forward to have fallen off the card. Alexis Berriez got injured, and there was another fighter whose name I can't remember at the moment. Also, he got injured as well. So yeah, two of the fights are kind of gone now, which is a shame. But I guess we just got to wait and see sort of how that kind of pans out. Aren't they trying to get Canelo Crawford at Allegiant Stadium? Yeah, they're trying to get the college football game moved either to a different date, or they're trying to pay them to go to a different venue on the day. They are trying to get Allegiant Stadium. Whether they will or not, I don't know. But to be honest, if Turkey wants it and he decides to pay enough money, I'm pretty sure that Netflix will accommodate that. Who doesn't make weight this weekend? I wouldn't be surprised if Richardson Hitchens missed weight. Not by like no crazy 4 pounds, but I wouldn't be surprised if he missed it by like 9 ounces or something like that. Because he's like mad tall, mad lean, that IBF rehydration clause, all that stuff. He needs a unification quite quickly in order to be able to maintain at 140. Outside of him, again, I don't know some of the other fights that's on that undercard because they changed a couple. Andy Cruz will make weight very calm, very easy, and I think so will his opponent. So out of the main fights, I would say chances are I would expect Richardson Hitchens to be most at risk of not making weight. But I guess we just wait and see. And when it happens, it happens. But obviously, let's hope that no one does. Is it just me, or has missing weight become far more common in the last 12 months? I don't know if it's far more common or we're just being exposed to it a bit more, social media and all of that. But from what I can remember, there's only been there was Ryan. Let's see. So Ryan's missed weight recently. Zerdo Ramirez missed weight a couple years back in 2023. Ryan in 2024. Keyshawn obviously last week. I'm trying to think who else has missed weight recently and had their belt. Did they have belts taken on the scales? Those are the only three that I can think of off the top of my head at the moment. I guess Chris Eubank Jr. with his 0.02 ounces or whatever it was. Star Fox has said that, yeah. Eubank Jr. I'm trying to think who else has missed weight. Philip. No, Navarrete didn't miss weight. He made the weight. He made 130. Made 135, and then he went back and made 130 again. Not recently, anyway. I know he missed weight like a few fights ago, but not recent. But yeah, it's look, I think maybe it's just being highlighted a lot more now, to be honest. But yeah, obviously I know even Khalil Coe missed weight a couple of times previously, but he seems to have sorted all of that out now. Who else has missed weight? I'm not sure off the top of my head. Oh, shout out Veritas Ad Astro. Salute to you. This is not a good look, bro. That my nose is it's been running almost all day. It's annoying. I think I said it on here before. You see when people get a blocked nose and they do the I can't breathe and all of that. I wish I got blocked noses. I don't get blocked noses. I get the dam. I get the waterfall, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. The most annoying thing ever. Maybe I meant by how he looked with his body. My bad. Oh yeah, I mean Navarrete is definitely not body beautiful, but he has missed weight before, but not as of late. It was a little while back was the last time. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else of obviously Kelvin Davis put out the he put out the apology note on behalf of him, Keyshawn, and Keon. Still no word from Keyshawn on socials yet. Haven't heard anything from Keon either, but nor would I expect to. Um, you know, and it's funny. Today, I actually went and rewatched, or I should say, watched. Period. The press conference for Keyshawn Davidson and Edwin De Los Santos, as I hadn't actually seen it before. But everyone had told me about him and the way he was talking to Abdullah Mason and stuff, and it was just funny watching Kelvin speak the way he was speaking to Nahir Albright, like at the press conference, and then to like watch the fight and kind of see how the fight played out, and everything was, oh, you're too little, you're too little, and then he ended up proceeding to get the brakes beat off of him. Star Fox, is Boxer still homeless? Well, yeah, no announcement's been made yet, so we're just gonna have to assume that they are for the time being. Hopefully, some news can be made soon, come out, and we can find out if they've got another deal or if they will be maybe they'll be channel hopping or something. Who knows? But what will be interesting to see is which of their fighters end up getting either poached or end up leaving due to maybe not having the Sky contracts and stuff anymore. That's what the interesting thing will be. No one seems to got hold of Ben the last couple of days, so yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. Oh, Fight Hub TV, Andy Cruz blasts Keyshawn Davis for jumping Albright and missing weight. Okay, I'll watch that in a little bit. I'm trying to think who would go. Veritas. I got the same hay fever symptoms as you. What helps me is Allegra, consistent daily one pill at the same time, and if I need an extra boost, Vividrin 0.05 eye drops. They also help the nose. Well, I'm not sure if you saw what I was saying earlier, Veritas. I don't actually have hay fever, although I do sometimes get hay fever like symptoms. But I think mine is more of a dust allergy, and it's come from basically dirty, clogged air filters at work. Because our offices, because we have to deal with vulnerable people, we can't have windows that open. So we've got them mad high-rise windows, like double thick, no air. So we have aircon. So the room gets either extremely hot or extremely cold, and there's like no in between. But the filters, the joke is the machine, the aircon machine itself has said for like the last nearly 5 months, air filters need replacing, and all now they still ain't done it. And I'm one of the people that suffers the most when that happens. And I think that's partly the reason, because I don't really get ill like that. And if I do, I get like 1 day illness and then I'm back. So by the time I mash up at work and it's like, oh, do I want to go, I'll go and call in sick the following day. The following day I end up being okay. But for that 1 day, I'm a wreck. Whereas everyone else kind of gets ill and then actually takes like sickness for 2, 3, 4 days, and then they're okay. Whereas I keep having to come back to the cycle. So, Philip, thoughts? Oh, by the way, anyway, if I sniff, apologies if it's if it's an annoying sound or noise, like literally it's that or it's a stream. It's one or the other, and I'd rather that. So thoughts on Mason versus Noakes for the vacant WBO? I said I would like to see it on the undercard of Canelo Crawford. I think it's a good fight. No predictions. as of yet. You know my style, but um, it's a good fight. But I feel like it's a fight that goes one way. That's what I'll say for the time being. Um, but yeah, I'd like to see it. If it could be made in the UK, cool. Um, for a purely selfish reason, because Abdullah's got to come over here, which means I get to interview him live. Uh, yeah, he can come here for selfish reasons. The filters have to take out a vulnerable person before they get changed. You know that? Yeah, it's crazy. I know. I'm gonna. I might even put in a complaint tomorrow though, because if we can't have, like I said, if we can't have windows that open, the least we deserve is like clean air in it, or air that ain't being recycled through dust filters and whatever else is up there. Oh, damn sorry to hear that. Appreciate you, thank you, man. I like the link up Eubank Jr. What link up? What are we referring to, Philip? I must have missed something there. Very. It's like you definitely weren't here at the start, Veritas. I said I would like to see Steven Nelson against Christian Mbile on that card. I think he deserves, obviously, because he's one of Crawford's guys. Come back. But I said earlier on in the stream, Steven Nelson against Christian Mbile. I tweeted it out as well when they was asking about fights for the card. So that's a fight I want to see, and I think that'll be a brilliant fight. He deserves a comeback. Veritas. What's Philip saying? Oh, I like the Eubank Jr. The link up Eubank Jr. with Abdullah Mason. Okay, that doesn't sound like something I was caught up on. Interesting. Ah, yeah, just tuned in. Yeah, so basically, yeah. Steven Nelson, I won him back. He just celebrated his 37th birthday the other day, I believe. It would be good. Like I said, him versus Christian Mbile, I think that would be a great fight. If I can't get Mbile versus Lele Sajo, I'll take that one second. Yeah, I don't know if the stream will make the hour, to be totally honest with you. Oh, this is nasty work by myself. You know what this might also mean? That basis pick video might be extremely late tomorrow. We may not get it till Saturday at this rate, because I can't be doing the sneezing and stopping and starting and recording, and because then that's too much editing to have to do. I need to be able to do it in very small takes. That's a hard fight for a comeback. Maybe Macombi or the one who beat up Plant instead. Um, no, Macombi's fighting Diego Pacheco um, on the BAM undercard in July, so he won't be free. And Rescindes, I mean, look, if you think that Mbile is a hard fight to come back from, Rescindes won't be too much easy. I mean, it'll still be a competitive fight, but it won't be too much easier. He's just coming off of a career best victory. So yeah, but I mean, Macombi and Rescindes wouldn't be a bad shout. But I think Rescindes is pretty much already confirmed either to do that rematch or to go into a trial fight. So not sure. Um, but yeah, I want to see Steven Nelson back. And to be honest, he's like, in all fairness to him, he's too old at this point to be messing around with tune-ups and tickovers and comebacks and whatnot. Like, he hasn't had many very like hard fights in his career. He had a hard. It was a hard fight against Pacheco, but it wasn't like a bruising like fight like that. Apart from the one cut that he had, get back in the ring. And then Mbile, thing is, I think Pacheco hits harder than Mbile. Mbile's just got like he just got a good work rate for like the first 4, 5, 6 rounds. I think Steven Nelson can handle that, to be totally honest. So yeah, I like the fight. It's an action fight, which is what Turkey said that he wants. He wants people that are coming toe to toe to fight rather than Tom and Jerry fights, as he calls it. Speaking of which, what is you guys' opinions of his comments about he's not supporting any more Tom and Jerry style fights or people that don't come to engage? I mean, look, do you think it's right that he's essentially telling people maybe the less powerful guys that they can't use their best attributes with the opportunity to win a fight if they want to get on a Riyadh season card? You kind of gotta go toe to toe, even if you're feather fisted against a big power puncher. What do you reckon? Um, I mean, the one thing I will say is Tevin Farmer isn't one of the biggest punchers. He's very defensively responsible, but he can do that in the pocket. So I don't see why there isn't any reason why some of these others have to be constantly on their bike. All you need, if your defense is good enough, you don't need to be that far away. Pernell Whitaker, prime example. I mean, I know he was extra special, but get the point. Um, Funny how before it was Spence calling for the Canelo fight, it's Crawford who stole that spot after catching the big fish. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting way to look at it. I can see where you're coming from. But yeah, interesting indeed. All right, can we think of any other fights for the Usyk and Dubois card? Because I can't lie, the two fights I've seen thus far are very underwhelming. They all seem they one is going to be a bore fest, and the other one is very A side heavy. Um, but I'm happy for someone else to to tell me if I'm wrong, as that's just kind of the way that I see it. So Veritas, I actually think Nelson knocks Mbile out, but to your question, I agree with Turkey. Okay, yeah, I hear that. I mean, I think here's the thing. I agree. If I'm going to be paying money, realistically, I do want to see action. I don't mind boxers, like pure boxers, like stick and move guys. But if you stick and move, like you've got to stick. Like there's, I've got to see that stick pumping out while maybe before you're moving, after you're moving, and not just moving. That being said, I think that if that's the way that you fight, then and you're really good at it, then obviously it's up to the other person to be able to, I guess, to nullify that to a certain degree. And if they can't, then you're not under any obligation to change for them. But that also being said, the paymasters or the people that want to put on the events are under no obligation to use you. So you really got to like pick your battles in that one. I reckon. He's not wrong. Boxing fans are paying money to see these fighters entertain, not to see a track star. Um, how is he going to police running? Um, I guess he's gonna have to look. He's probably look for pattern behavior, and see the people that have had a lot of offenses, maybe not being very engaging, and just say, look, none of that. Or maybe tell the referees, if they are running, quote unquote, tell them to engage. If they don't engage, take a point away for I don't know, foul play, unsportsmanlike conduct. I don't know what they would how they would necessarily say, but I think points would probably be a way to police it, deducting points for non-engagement. Turkey is against boxing, but boxers who use that as an excuse for their limited skills, mid-range to inside, to constantly disengage and throw historically low numbers of punches. Turkey is against boxing, but boxers who use that as an excuse for their limited skills, mid-range. I'm not sure if I've read or understood that. He's against boxing, as in like he's against the art of boxing. Do you mean? And he just wants to tear up. Oh, okay, Turkey isn't against boxing. Okay, okay, that makes sense. Thank you, because yeah, I know I'm slightly ill, but yeah, that was racking my brain. I get it now. Um, he can curb running by including penalty payments in contracts and non-favorable judging and scoring. Yeah, although I don't necessarily like the idea of making specific judging criteria, outside of the rule book or whatever. But I can the penalties for the purses. Yeah, I think that, imagine if there was a penalty in the purse if you throw less than, say, uh 230 punches within the fight. So not a round, or not within 3 rounds, but for the entire fight, if you throw less than 230 punches and maybe don't land with um you don't land with more than, say, I don't know, 53, for instance, unless the other person has literally blocked everything, like you maybe get a penalty for non-engagement, or for something like that. That might be interesting. I could see something like that happening. That's not too bad. Damn, this presser is out of control. I did not expect this. What presser is that? What am I missing? Philip's always watching something apart from the stream. What? Let me check my. Let's see what presser is. Oh, Hitchens and Cambosis. Let me take a quick look. One sec. Okay. I'll watch that in a little bit. Uh, Boxers might start throwing air punches like that Boys in the Hood scene with that kind of contract clause. Yeah. Well, no, because I guess the punches have to land. They have to hit something, um, even if it's gloves, to be counted. Differences in hurting your opponent or looking for a point to win. Also, only 16-foot rings. Yeah, 16 by 16. I mean, that's not a bad shot. No 18s, no 20s, no 22s, no 24s. Although 16 by 16 is a bit unfair to heavyweights. It's literally that one step back and they're on the ropes. But no, I don't mind that one. That's not a bad shot. If you want to stop like running movement, then you can see who's really like defensively astute and who's just got good athleticism. Um, that'll be interesting. Steelworkers 92. Yo, base, I've got some queries for you. Yeah, go for it. Go ahead. I might be closing the stream off in a little bit, but yeah, feel free. And you're just coming from X, so I don't know if I can't respond to you on the stream like typing wise, but yeah, I'll definitely speak. So yeah, type your queries. I look forward to seeing them. Oh, Cambosis and Hitchens are going at it. I guess they had to push away from the face off. Maybe no head to head. Oh, no head to head until the weigh in tomorrow. Interesting. The heavyweights are good now. The only heavyweight I remember literally running is Pulev versus AJ. Okay, Matchroom are lacking UK headliners right now. Who would you sign if you were Eddie to bolster up the stable? Okay, well, are we bolstering it up because they're a headline act, or just because there's someone to add on to? Because if we're talking about someone that can headline the show, um, I would look at. To be honest, I'd try and take a look at some of them Sky contracts. Ben Whitaker could headline a show, so I definitely would see if I could snap up Ben Whitaker. Uh, Callum Simpson, I mean, look, he just did a. I mean, it was Barnsley, granted, but he did what 15,000 at the football stadium in Barnsley, and he is a bit of an action fighter. Um, who else? Because if we're talking about headliners, I mean, Cordina's just come back. He's more. I don't know if he really is a headline kind of guy. Um, on the UK side of things, it's a bit tricky, if I'm gonna be real. But those are the ones I can kind of think of off the top of my head that I would be looking at in terms of bolstering the UK stable. Because obviously everyone else is already signed to Queensbury or Wasserman. Shout out to Mo 12090. Dalton. Well, he's already signed to Matchroom, so he doesn't count. I was thinking of people that ain't signed because Adam Azim isn't really a headliner. As much as I know they was trying to position him that way, it's weird because the that Muslim community that I expected to kind of get behind him, they haven't done so far. Not really, which is surprising. So um, yeah, literally, I can only really think of Ben Whitaker and Callum Simpson in terms of people that you could potentially sign that might be out of contract. I mean, Caroline Dubois, she's probably be a good choice, but I don't know if she's got enough popularity to be a headline act yet. Fraser Clark, I wouldn't go with. Jamie TKB couldn't headline in the UK from their card. Um, yeah, that's what I can really think of. And Mbile UK has a lot of potential fights for him. Yeah, but he's already signed to Eye of the Tiger management, so um, he's with Eye of the Tiger, so he was not available, and they've got a co-promotional deal with Top Rank, so you can't sign him anyway. Cool, got answering. Feels like Queensbury has signed everything moving in the UK, especially heavyweights. He's got a mad budget, it seems. You know, I don't even think it's necessarily the budget. I think it's just that because Daniel Dubois has got a belt, and then Usyk has the others. But if Usyk loses or if Usyk vacates, it's only Queensbury guys that are in those mandatory positions. It makes sense for you to join Queensbury because then you're more likely to get a voluntary shot rather than having to try and work your way into a mandatory and then wait 2 years to get the opportunity. Maybe it's best if they have 3 fights on the Usyk Dubois 2 card. What, you mean 3 fights total, including the main event? Um, Maybe. But if that was the case, they'd have to pick 3 better fights than what they have, or 2 of them at least, in my opinion. Because that 3 fight card isn't worth the 24.95 or the package bundle that you're supposed to have to do with the ring free card and the other, what was the other card, and the Jake Paul thing. Like, that in itself is mad because they've got that bundle, but the bundle is you got to pick either the ring card or you've got to pick the Jake Paul card, but there's no way to get like all 3 of the fight cards within a bundle. But the zone do need to stop putting on multiple pay-per-views in like the span of a week. Like, that's starting to get a bit annoying. Dan the Man, SC15, hardest working guy on Twitter. Shout out to you. Hope you're good. Um, Man like Aaron Daly, salute. Do you rate Emmanuel Odiasi? Uh, 20, 25, 8, managed heavyweight, or 258, sorry. Good amateur background, looks pretty devastating. He's been on a few matchroom shows, but they haven't shown any interest. Yeah, I mean, Odiasi's all right. He's decent. Like, I've seen him a couple times. I've spoken to him, not on camera, but I've had a couple words with him. I don't know. The truthful answer with him is I don't know if he's it in terms of like that world level. Like, I know that obviously he's nowhere near that yet, but in terms of even just looking at the potential, I don't know if he's quite there. That doesn't mean that he can't get a contract or something, but I think that might be one of the reasons. Because like 258 fighters also come with very expensive salaries, and I don't know if they reckon there will be a return on investment considering he's like German or based out of Germany, or has got, it hasn't really got a way to connect to the UK crowd as of yet. I think that's one of the reasons they're not necessarily looking at him like that. But joining Queensbury really helps with matchmaking. Frank will likely protect his golden gooses. Isn't it better to join the main rival and beat Queensbury fighters to make your name? Yeah, but the problem is you won't get to face those Queensbury fighters unless you're in mandatory positions, because Frank won't willingly give another person a voluntary shot at one of his champions unless he's 100% sure his champion's going to win. Even with his rivalry but relationship with Matchroom now, they're still very, very careful about who they match with each other. Um, and that's just Frank's way. Like, he's very much as a person that does it when they're ready, or that when he feels that they're at the right perfect time. So yeah, he he won't allow one of his fighters to fight someone from outside the camp unless they're guaranteed to win or that person is a free agent, so he can basically sign them afterwards. Says I'm good, thanks you. Yeah, I'm struggling at the moment, but I couldn't leave the channel for 5 days without some kind of content. So here I am. Shout out to Skyliner. This Hitchens guy seems old, hot air to me. I don't think he's going to cut the mustard at the elite level. He talks a good game, but that's most Americans. Let's see how he does against the Art of War. I hear you. We already went over this before in the stream, but Boots looked like he was struggling to make the weight. Yeah, struggling, but he made it. That's the thing. It's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're struggling because most of them struggle, but he made it. And at least if he can't make it anymore, he made it that one time, and now it's like, okay, I'll move up. which is then all you can really ask for. Hit the like, fellas. Yes, please. If you are watching, please do hit that like button. It is much appreciated. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna jump off in a moment. The nose is bothering me, and I don't feel like it's fair on everyone watching to be dealing with me sneezing and sniffling and sounding congested for every moment. But as soon as I shake this, which hopefully should be either later on today or tomorrow, basis picks will come, and I'm hoping that I can maybe get something done Saturday for some additional content. Then we'll have a bunch of shows over the weekend. I might do a watch along for Hitchens and Cambosis. Not sure yet, but we'll definitely have Fight Talk Live and all that good stuff. So yeah, I definitely think we got one happening this weekend. I'm gonna read the last couple tweets that come in, and then yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Have you tried swimming in salt water? That could soothe your nose. I haven't, and unfortunately, I'm not close enough to any salt water to give that a try. But I appreciate the suggestion, and I might give that one a try soon. Man like Alex Bellotti, shout out to you. So you're gonna do the 2K subscriber giveaway for the floor level tickets? Oh, Alex, never change. Good old Vicks Vapor Rub. I mean, that might maybe some menthol decongestion might work. But again, I'm not congested. I'm already decongested. I want to be congested. I want the pouring of the nose to stop. That's why whenever I see like medicine and stuff, is prevents a no, it says like prevents a blocked nose or decongest a blocked nose. I'm like, no, give me the blocked nose. That's what I want. I don't want what I have. Also, taking a bath with Roman chamomile essential oil could very much help. Maybe. Unfortunately, I only have access to a shower at the minute, so yeah, bathtub maybe is a bit too much to ask for myself. But I'm going to take all these suggestions in under advisement, and thank you very much for putting them in the chat. Yeah, got about a minute left or so. So keep the suggestions coming in, keep the comments coming in. Get well soon. Stay. Oh, Ray and nephew heels all. Yeah, maybe some of that might have to come out once I take the dog out for his last walk for the night, clear those bowels. Then I might definitely do so. Probably got to go wake him up anyway. Bucket with a towel over the head helps too. Yeah, that I can actually do. I might sort that one. Steam, yep. And Unlocking Faith, shout out to you. Says the same thing. Steam with towel and bowl, might do that. That one could come in handy. Philip says, what are you looking forward to in July? Just the women's card and Bam versus Cafu. That's all I'm really looking forward to in that month. But look, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. I will be back a little bit later on this weekend. We'll do something over the weekend as well, I promise. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. But for right now, it's the Hardcore Casual out.
Maybe I'ma make it, maybe I'm not. In time we'll see. But who better than me? I don't care if you agree. I ain't saying that I'm better than anyone.